Hi everyone, hope you're well. Welcome to the first ever Boro Runners podcast, an exciting new series that we've got here on the YouTube channel. Basically, to introduce some of our members, especially for those who have just joined the club in the last couple of months. We have our cut off at the end of June, so we've got lots of new members joining, which is very exciting. And we'd like you to all meet the members that we've currently got, and as well some new members as well. Part of Boro Runners, so we have lots of different ages, lots of different abilities. So we've got loads of different personalities in the umbrella of the club. And it would be nice for you to meet some of those members. And we have our first member today, our first lucky volunteer. We have Danielle with us. Danielle, you okay?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Yeah,
Good,
good.
good, good. Firstly off, how's your day been?
Stressful, very stressful. We've been on a trip today at school. So
Oh,
yes, very stressful.
oh, not stressed because of the podcast.
No, I was looking forward to that, very looking forward to it. So
Good, good, fabulous. I know you've got dogs in the background as well, haven't you? So if you've got any, if there's
I
any
have,
sound of
yes.
dogs,
I apologise.
it's not Danielle, it's the dogs. Great. So, Danielle, just literally just some light-hearted questions to start off with. We'll
Yeah.
first of all get to know a little bit about you personally, and then we'll move on to what you've experienced with the club has been so far, personal achievements, and then we'll have some light-hearted questions at the end, just some fun. If that sounds okay
Yeah,
with you.
yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
fabulous. Right. So, first of all, Danielle, when did you join Boro Runners? What year? What month? If you can.
It was last August, so August 24. And I joined in the August. And my first session was Flats Lane, and I remember it very, very, very well.
Oh, Flats Lane, Flats Lane. Did I sugarcoat it or not?
Mm, yeah, I loved it. It was hard work, but I just knew that it was the right thing for me. And obviously, I'm still here, so onwards and upwards from now.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you come with your partner on your first run, or was it just you personally?
No, it was just me. I was at a member of a different running club, but that wasn't quite doing it for me. And I just wanted to try something different. And I'd heard lots of positive messages about Boro Runners, and I thought it's my time to try it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and I've loved it ever since.
Yeah, excellent. Good stuff. So obviously you've done a whole range of sessions since then. I mean, probably counting over 100, I'm assuming, from end of August last year. What would you reckon would be was your favourite location so far?
I do like Pinchinthorpe, although that
Oh.
does contain hills. But
Hmm.
I think at the time I whinge probably more than anybody else. But the hill sessions do pay off, and I am seeing a benefit from that. So that is one that I love.
Nice, excellent picture there. And the worst location, if you've got one?
Mm, it has to be Flats Lane just because of the killer hill. But if the session doesn't involve that hill, Flats Lane's absolutely lovely.
Oh, okay. Right. So do you mean the God Falter at the end of the hill?
Yeah,
At the end of
that's a
Fast Lane,
very
yeah.
that's a tough one.
It's weird that we have our lowest amount of runners. Our attendance is the lowest for that session. I can't quite figure out why, but yeah. So, say obviously you joined August 2024. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of a running club, then not necessarily Borough Runners. Why did you decide to join a running club in the first place?
I need that motivation. I struggle to kind of get out and run solo on my own. I decided to take up running, and I ran the Boro 10K in 2023.
Yeah.
So then during 2023, I kind of did those solo park runs, but I wasn't really structured. But like I say, I struggle to motivate myself on my own, and I just needed that support and that kind of running network to kind of keep me going.
Yeah, yeah, that sort of external motivation. I think that's really important. That I mean, it's sort of having a balance between like people in and around you who are running the same pace, and then people like almost like a little bit faster as well to almost like
Yeah,
try and hang
definitely.
on to. But yeah, yeah. Would you say you've got that at the club?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I struggle with sometimes long runs on a Sunday, but the group's just fantastic, and there's people that you can message and go out and run with, even if it's kind of not a session. And everyone's just so open and welcoming, to join, no matter what your ability, what your speed, and I absolutely love that.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff. That's really good to hear. So in terms of a club dynamic then, so obviously you talked about there like the opportunity and the chance to jump into a running club. Is there one thing that you enjoy the most about being part of the club? Doesn't have to necessarily be like running specific, it could be like social, anything outside.
Yeah, I think it's the people in the club. I
People, yeah.
mean, it's absolutely outstanding, no matter whether you've joined recently, whether you've been a member for a long time. It's very, very inclusive. And I just feel like we are all part of a running family, which is fantastic.
Nice. It's nice to be honest that you use the word family because I think a lot of people use that. It doesn't really feel like there's a running club in its sense, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of
No.
like family and friends together, which is really good. So in terms of your memories so far, I mean, you personally, you've made a lot of progress, and we'll get on to that later in the podcast. What's like your been most memorable moment, would you say? Not in terms of like a particular time, maybe like a moment, like maybe the event, for example, or it might just be like a particular run that you've done.
Um, the Christmas party, that was very memorable. That was a lovely event that we had and that you held, and that kind of brought that family together. But I
Yeah.
think I would say that the kind of most memory for me was the Middlesbrough 10K. Sorry, the Middlesbrough half, not 10K.
Another half, yeah.
Yeah, there was lots of support. There was loads of us participating, but there was also a lot of support, and I feel like that's kind of stuck with me, and that's kind of motivated me to kind of keep going and keep getting those PBs if possible.
Absolutely, and obviously you PB a lot, which we'll get onto later on the podcast. But you did talk about the Christmas party there. There was a little bit of confusion, a bit of competitiveness on the last time at the Christmas party.
Definitely, yes, yes. I am very competitive, and I
I
am, yes.
think
But
we
it
were
was
doing
very
the
fun
was it the snowball game with the
with
spoon
the
and that?
blindfold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got very competitive. Nobody was taking that spoon off you.
no. And I don't know if people could see under their blindfolds, but we'll let them off for
Oh,
that one.
oh, I know. Well, I was saying to him, I was like, Danielle's watching you. You know, if she catches you, you're in trouble. But did you end up winning that snowball competition? Or?
No, I think I was second. I think it was close,
Oh,
very, very close. But
can you remember who won?
I'll let them have it. I'll let them have it.
Oh, can you remember who won? Or
No,
no,
no, I
no.
can't.
It's
No,
such a negative memory that it's been lapsed into the distance, has
it has.
it?
Yeah, yeah,
Quality, good stuff. I mean, that Christmas party was pretty nice. So I'm glad that that was your favorite one.
yeah.
So in terms of other people, so you talked about the family. Obviously we'll get on to you personally in a bit. In talking about other
Okay.
people, then who do you reckon's apart from me in terms of the coaching, who do you reckon in the club's helped you the most personally? And it doesn't necessarily again be running specific. It could be like mentally, it could be socially outside of school, like outside of running club. Sorry, who's helped you the most? Would you say? And you can say multiple people if you like to.
Yeah, I think there is multiple people. I think Sam at the club, she really motivates kind of and helps and supports in the session. Not
Yeah.
all sessions are easy, and sometimes you are kind of at the back of that running group, but I think she really, really helps and she kind of gives her story as well that she once started where I was. And obviously she's made that progress and she helps me to keep going. I think my partner Ben, he really encourages me. I mean, sometimes I can be at home and I've got to run on my plan and I'm really struggling and he's come on, you'll see the benefit. And yeah, he
Mhm.
is somebody that inspires me and the amount of miles that he puts in a week is just unbelievable. I don't know how he does it if I'm honest, but I have to kind of see that as a positive and if it's helping him then it will help me. But there's lots of people. I mean, there's people that are participating in the June K's challenge, and I'm
Mm.
looking and I'm thinking, that's outstanding, and it is inspiring to look at all of those people running day in day out. And that's kind of it's really motivating to be fair.
Yeah, just to see like people go the extra mile as well. Like
Yeah,
who
definitely. And
necessarily
even
not.
kind of with support. I mean, if you are struggling, I mean, we did Boro Runners sports day on Sunday, and I was talking about, long ones on a weekend are difficult. And then we kind of spoke together, and me, Lindsay, and Katie are going out tonight to kind of do a run together because they know that that's going to kind of get. And we've made a little chat, and that's just so supportive. And that's what it is like, no matter who you kind of talk to within the club.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's really good. I mean, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because from like an outside perspective, obviously you've got people who are running completely different paces, but you'll probably say five people that are sort of your pace in sessions, and then like people towards the front, like Ben, for example, he'll probably say five different people. And then
Yeah.
that's not necessarily to say like one group's better than the other. It's just different
No,
paces and who you necessarily
no.
train with. Yeah.
And
Um,
sometimes as well, especially when we're doing a warm up and it is that kind of steady pace, you do get some of those faster people at the front kind
yeah,
of running with those that, take that quite easy. And that's really nice just to have that conversation with different people. And obviously it's not always like that, but that is really nice.
yeah,
And even kind of when we're talking about like pushing and racing and kind of competing, especially like park runs, there are lots of people that will kind of pace you and help and support. I mean, I have to shout out to Simone that she helped me get that PB last week. And I couldn't have done it without her. There was her, Sam, and Lindsay. And
mm,
just as a team, kind of, it's fantastic. I couldn't do it without them, really.
Oh, amazing, amazing. You said that you wouldn't be probably where you are without those people.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, that's really nice. And to be honest, they probably say the same about you, which is perfect. I mean, obviously you're going for a run tonight, aren't you, with Katie and Lindsay,
Yeah.
which is brilliant. So no, that's really good. That's really good. So in terms of like your style of running, then what would you say you prefer in your training? Do you prefer the interval training, for the hills, do you prefer the easy runs, the longer runs, the park runs? What would you say is your favorite?
I think I prefer the interval runs
Yeah,
as a
okay.
kind of favourite. And like I said earlier, hills are probably my least favourite, but I feel like doing those hills gives you a lot of benefit. So at the time it is really hard, but then when you're doing that race and it's got that slight incline, it really eases it and just helps.
Hmm.
So I would say that hills are also a good session as well.
Nice. So you sort of like the broad variety. It just depends in the
Yeah.
actual moment what you hate and what you
Yeah.
don't like. To be honest, you won't be the first, you won't be the last. I mean, the hills are a definite hit for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know me and Ryan talked about it at the end of the month where we're planning on doing a little switch. He's planning on doing coaching for Kenyan Hills, and I'm doing the session. So,
Yeah.
well, he was basically said, "I'm sick of you doing all the coaching, just watching." So I was like, "Yeah, that's fair enough. Point that too fair, right?"
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So in terms of the club, you mentioned obviously briefly 5 minutes ago about the June's 5K challenge. Now,
Yeah.
just for those who don't know what that's about, so we work in collaboration with Destination Boro, which we have two of the members in our club. We have David Dukes and Dean McCormack, who do brilliant work for charity, and they do loads of run events throughout the year to basically help raise funds and also raise awareness. So one of the challenges we've got on the moment is the June K challenge, where we have two teams. We've got Team Scott and Team Dukes, and we have around about 15, 20 athletes on either team. And at least one athlete or possibly more are running the amount of Ks for the day. So, for example, June the 1st would be 1K, June the 1st would be 2Ks, all the way down. So, I believe it's the 30th, 31st, I'm too sure. We have some individuals who are doing the whole thing. So, I believe it's Ben, Mark, and Ryan. So, shout out to those three lads who are doing every single day, currently on day 12. So, fair play to them, amazing. So yeah, obviously in terms of those challenges, Daniel, do you have a particular favourite that you've done so far? There probably hasn't been too many, has there?
No, I'm actually not down on one of the team for the Ks. But I'm kind of just there, in case. I mean, I think someone couldn't run the 10K today, so I'm gonna go out and do that 10K, obviously to try and step in and help that team out. But I haven't really done any kind of challenges like that at the minute, so that's something for the future, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Have you got any in the future that you would like to do? I mean, obviously, I know there's Park Runathon in June where we have 10 park runs in a row all together. There's also the superhero run at the end of June where
Yeah, I'm
everyone's
going to
dressing up.
participate in the superhero one. I just haven't kind of
Brilliant.
thought of that distance yet, as to what I'm
Yeah,
going to do. And I think I would try the park runathon as best I can. But we'll just see how that goes.
yeah. And I think that's really important as well in terms of doing other challenges. I mean, I think a lot of people sometimes, mainly after a marathon, I see it, but when they go through a big block of training and then a big air race, they almost jump back into it too early. And it's important to
Yeah,
enjoy your running with these like light-hearted challenges that are obviously good
yeah,
for charity, but just enjoying the easy pace as well and the fun side of it, which is brilliant because it can be quite intense sometimes, can't it?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, no. Right. So that's your experience in the club so far. So we're going to talk a little bit about personal bests, running achievements, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll start from when you first joined the club and then we'll compare it to where you are now. And if you can't remember your
Okay.
times, don't worry about it too much, but we'll see how we go.
Great.
So can you remember your first ever 5K? Your time?
Yes. 42 minutes.
42 minutes, yeah. So was that at Albert Park?
It was a park one, yeah.
Albert
Yeah.
Park, yeah, yeah. And how did that time feel? How did that experience feel? Was that quite difficult, challenging? Or was it all
Yeah,
right?
I think kind of keeping the running going for that consistent 3.1 miles was difficult. So it was probably more of a walk run type
Yeah,
park run.
yeah.
And obviously I've tried to build that up over the time to get that in, the consistent 3.1 running.
Yeah, yeah. So in terms of 5K now, where you are now, where you are currently? Because I know you had a good time last week, didn't
Um,
you?
yeah, so last week I got a PB of 31:40.
Wow, which is amazing, isn't it? I think a
Yeah,
lot of runners like don't particularly realize the amount of progress they've made. And for you, obviously, that's all I have now. You can go continuous for 5K, which you
yeah,
probably just not you don't obviously take it for granted, but it's just one of those that you can go out and do.
yeah,
Obviously compared to last year when you were run walking, so that's already massive progress. But the fact that you've knocked 11 minutes off is incredible.
yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
so proud of.
No, you should be, absolutely. You should look back and think how far you've came, which is amazing. And to be honest, with the way you're going, I mean, what's the sort of target for the 5K distance? I'm assuming it's that sub 30, is it?
I'd love that sub 30, yeah, but
Yeah.
anywhere in that 30 minutes would be lovely, because that's what I've been aiming for since the past couple of months. And obviously I can see hopefully that it is getting to that point. So before long I would hope to be in that 30 minutes.
Yeah, excellent, good stuff. And it's obviously not just 5Ks you do as well. What other distances have you raced before?
So I've done a couple of 10Ks, and then I've also done 3 half marathons
Yeah,
since September 2024.
amazing.
Which are tough, but it's well worth it at the end.
Was that, would you say, your favourite distance half marathon, or would you prefer the
I
5Ks or 10s?
I think I just like that mixture. I think a 5K is lovely, but sometimes that's just not quite long enough. I think a
Yeah.
10K is a lovely distance, but then that half marathon is just really, really rewarding at the end. And I think you know how much kind of effort you've put in for that race, and it kind of just shows all your training and everything. And it
Mm.
does for a 10K, but I think that 13 miles is just the right amount, to feel that kind of benefit from.
Yeah, excellent. And obviously, your most recent half marathon, the longest distance that you've raced was it Brass Monkey? Yeah.
Yes, I've done the Great North Run,
Yeah.
the Brass Monkey, and then the Boro Half.
Yeah, the Brass Monkey was a good one for you, wasn't it? Obviously, I know you had your problems with your feet, when you, in terms of the blisters and
Oh, I
stuff.
did, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, which is fine. I think that's something to look at in terms of a different injury as well, and different things that can interrupt you in race day. It's not just the physical side of things; it can be like things like that. For example, like blisters that just pop out of the blue. And I know you
yeah,
struggled through a lot of that race, didn't you?
yeah, definitely.
Would be the race that you said you've struggled with the most so far in your running career, or have you had one that's really stuck in?
No, I think the first ever half that I did was the Great North Run, and that was
Right.
really, really tough. The weather conditions weren't great, and obviously I was already kind of really nervous for that distance anyway. And we were stood around quite waiting quite a lot to kind of get going, and I think that was probably the race where I struggled the most.
Yeah.
So then obviously I kind of took those points into the Brass Monkey and just thought, the distance is fantastic, the atmosphere and everything like that, and I just kind of built upon that when I ran the Brass Monkey.
Mm. It's hard, isn't it, when you've got so many things that could alter and change in a day. Remember obviously
Definitely,
going
yeah.
to Manchester last month and seeing the weather conditions being 26 degrees at 11 o'clock. I was thinking,
I know, and you can't win, can you? Because it's either pouring down with rain or too hot, and
yeah,
I don't know what's worse.
yeah. It's difficult. You have like so much more sacrifice for like a half marathon and a marathon. And, if you turn up for a 5K and it's raining, it's fine because it's only 3 miles. But when
Yeah,
you go through such a big training block, like 12 weeks for a half marathon, or some
yeah,
runners even do 16, 20 weeks for a full marathon, and then it's just the weather conditions on the day that massively disrupt it. It can be really hard to deal with. And
yeah,
obviously, I know
definitely.
a lot of them struggled at London. Like Mark, obviously, it was during London this year. He had the bad weather in terms of how hot it was.
Yeah,
You obviously the runners at Manchester. You had last year Lucy Felgate doing Leeds Marathon at 30 degrees. So it's
yeah,
really frustrating. It's awful.
definitely, yeah.
And you think in England when it's like constantly 10 degrees or it's rain, and then as soon as you get to rain, it's
I know.
Spanish conditions. It's like, oh
Yeah,
God, horrific, horrific.
yeah.
So yeah, we talked
Definitely.
about a bit of the past there. Obviously races that you've raced and your 5K PB, which is amazing. Which personal best are you most proud of, and why?
I have to say the Boro half. I mean,
Yeah.
I still kind of suffered with my blisters. I hadn't kind of sorted my trainers and my socks. But I powered through there. I mean, I was in absolute agony with my feet, but I was wanting that PB from the Brass Monkey, so there was no way that I was giving up, no matter what that pain was for my feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I powered through and got that PB, and that memory will stick with me forever. And obviously it was a
Amazing.
hometown race, which was lovely, and just the support and everything during that was just outstanding.
Yeah, amazing, good stuff. And I was looking through the your camera pictures as well that you sent through before the podcast, and every single one on the Borough half is just not even looking at the camera; it's eyes straight down, focused forward,
Yeah, concentrating.
in the zone, which is amazing. Which is amazing. Not even a little cheeky smile, just concentrated and powering on.
I do try to look out for the cameras, but obviously I missed those ones.
To be honest, I do the opposite. I think they get horrific ones of you. They don't ever get nice running pictures of it. They're always just like that. Also, you know what I mean? When your
I
face
know.
like probably
Or your
scrunched up.
eyes are closed or something, I know.
Absolute agony, but yeah, you had good ones. So talk about Bro Harper, that was your favourite, obviously, in terms of personal best. If you had like a dream race to do, or like a dream PB, what would it be? And it could be abroad, it could be anywhere you'd like.
I'd love to do an abroad half marathon,
Right?
but realistically, I would love to be able to just do a marathon at any point over the next few years. That would be something that I would love to do.
Amazing. Yeah. So like, anywhere in particular, not necessarily London or
No, it could be anywhere. I mean, like you said, you can't predict the weather, so we could go abroad and it could be raining. So just, anywhere that's kind of got that nice scenery to help along the route would be lovely.
so not Middlesbrough.
No, definitely not. No,
Not too laps of the half marathon.
no, thanks.
No, we'll pass that. I
Yeah,
don't think that's the worst bit when you go through that adjustable bit of the last 3 miles. It's
that's the
obviously flat.
hardest part of that.
Yeah. And seeing the lovely scenery of the horses and
Yeah.
chained up to lampposts.
Yes, lovely.
Yeah, just breathing in the fresh air. Quality. So lastly, in terms of the personal best bracket, do you have like a performance where like you perhaps maybe surprise yourself, where you maybe weren't feeling great on the day, or your training hasn't particularly been going the best and you've just managed to pull out a massive PB?
It's probably last week's park run PB, if I'm
All
totally
right, yeah.
honest.
Yeah. Why was that?
Woke up on the morning, just wasn't feeling a run, didn't kind of feel myself, and I thought, no, come on. I had that support from Simone and Sam and Lindsay, and I knew that I had to. And we set off, and I thought, I haven't got this in me. And I just thought, no, come on. They're there, they're trying to help me along. The support was there, and I was really, really, really surprised at that PB. Because like I said, on the morning, I didn't want to go, I didn't want to do it. I was in that proper grumpy mood. But we did do it, we did get there, and we got that PB. So
Amazing. And obviously, we were talking together with the Boro 5K, weren't we, on Sunday about your performance the day before. In terms of the support that you had on that particular run, how was it? Was it quite aggressive support, or was it quite light support, or was it a good mix?
It was lovely. It was a bit of a good mix.
Yeah.
I had they were kind of spread out around me. So Simone was in front. Lindsay was kind of to one side, and then Sam was a little bit behind just to keep me going. And Sam did say, "Do you want aggressive or do you want nice?" And at first I said nice, and then I thought, "Oh no, she's gonna have to start telling me." So we changed to a little bit aggressive, but it gets you there. It really, really does. It does get you those goals that you want. And then obviously at the end they were kind of cheering, shouting, a little mix of everything really. But like I say, no matter whether it's nice or kind of aggressive comments, it's really, really helpful.
Amazing. No, that's really good. It was a three of you, wasn't it? Obviously you and then three others. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, which you don't normally see. Like it's normally just like one person. So to have
And I
three
think we
people.
were just going to do it, me and Simone, and then Sam kind of said, we'll do it. And then Lindsay asked me what time I was aiming for, and she was like, no, come on, we'll all do it together. And that's how we kind of ended up doing it, the four of us, which I think also helped even more than probably just doing it with Simone.
Yeah, nice, perfect. Yeah, the more people, the better, I guess.
Yeah.
Depends if they're shouting at you or not, but the shout is pretty good. Yeah. Right. So we talked about personal best. We talked about your experience in the club. So let's talk about a little bit you personally, not necessarily to do with running, or perhaps maybe some rituals, for example. So first of all, what would your go-to like pre-run snack be, or what would you normally have before a run, either like training or a race?
So if it's kind of breakfast, I'd have a bagel and scrambled egg. That is my go-to, whether it be a park run or a race. If it's kind of prepping for a race the night before, we'd probably have pasta, like a bolognese or meatballs. And then obviously if it's kind of dinner, I probably would still go with a bagel and scrambled egg, just because that is my definite go-to.
Is that always been your go-to, or is it something that you've
Always,
changed?
yeah. No, always.
Also, even before the run, it was a bagel and scramble. Oh, nice. Yeah. No, a lot of runners go for the bagels and scramble. Like, are you much of a chef? Would you back yourself, or?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
quite good. Yeah.
Can you teach me? I go for the very expressive option of toast on a morning, maybe with a bit of butter on the top. Yeah.
Oh, not even any jam.
Sometimes. Do you know what it is with the eggs? I can't crack them properly. It's horrific. I hate it. I always feel like I'm really, really careful, and then it just like cracks, and then all the yolk just goes straight. No, it's just an absolute mess.
Easier for just toast.
Easier just toast. Yeah. We'll probably just go toast. Yeah. Oh, Weetabix and that. Just 2 steps. Weetabix and milk.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, proper athlete's diet, proper kid's diet. So in terms of when you're running, then, so music, podcasts, peace and quiet. What would you prefer? What's the go-to?
I'm a music type of girl.
Right, okay.
And
Is
I
that for
like
every
it where
runner?
no, sometimes I can go without music. It just
Nice.
depends, how I'm feeling and do I need that kind of extra push? Because if I'm listening to music, I like it quite upbeat so that I can kind of get that rhythm going with my feet. And
Nice,
that
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
keeps me going. So, but yeah, I
yeah.
haven't actually tried podcasts, but I have heard lots of positive things about them. So maybe that's something that I could maybe look at and try.
Do you have other runners like who, obviously your friends in the club with who listen to podcasts or when they run?
Say that again, sorry.
Do you have like friends in the club who listen to podcasts when they run it or not?
And there's a couple. I think Si mentioned on Sunday that he listens to podcasts. So there's a couple that I
Yeah,
know of. So it's getting to know what podcast they listen to and maybe try it out.
yeah. I don't think I've ever done it myself. Actually, I'm not sure. No, I don't know whether it would be for me or not. I'm not sure. I'd have to try it. Yeah, same as you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you have like a particular song you would go to if you really need a motivation, like last K, you need a push? What would you go for? Or like an
Oh,
artist or a band?
I don't actually have one. It's
No,
just
yeah,
whatever's playing. I've just got that playlist set so that they kind of all kind of motivate me. So there isn't kind of a go-to song
yeah. Is
to
it a
finish.
playlist for all types of run? Like if you went for an easy run or a hard run, would it be the same?
No, I've got two separate ones.
Oh, nice. Okay. What's like your favorite genre of music? It's like 80s, 90s, indie, pop.
Probably pop.
Pop, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
like current stuff now.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
chart stuff. Yeah.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
excellent.
But then I do like
Explicit.
it where it's remixed because it gets that little bit of a beat going. So I do like remixes of pop
User
songs.
remixes.
No, I just like to listen to remixes, mate. I can't remix.
Started on making little DJ sets.
No.
Oh, I'll tell you what, first now you're a chef, now you're a DJ. It's
Oh
incredible.
no.
Got all these
It's
different.
all happening.
Great, good stuff. So third question: if you could run a race anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh, I'd love to run in New York.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, for the marathon or just a general park run or
No, I think it'd have to be a longer distance. There's a lot to see in
yeah,
New York, isn't there? So I think that longer distance would be lovely to kind of see those sightseeings.
yeah,
So yeah, it would be lovely that.
amazing. Have you been before?
No,
No, no. Okay.
no.
Also, it's a new experience as well.
Yeah,
Very good.
definitely.
What is the weirdest or the funniest thing that you've seen either in the club or when you've been running or in other clubs at races? What's the funniest thing or weirdest thing you've seen?
People dressing up. So I think we've got Matt in the club who
Yeah,
posts on his Strava who dresses up as kind of Elsa and Anna and lots of different things and that's kind of unusual and weird, but I love
yeah.
it at the
It's
same time.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. He's a
Yeah.
ridiculously good runner as well. He's very, very impressive, especially wearing his Elsa costume. It's been
Yeah,
like 21 minutes
definitely.
for 5K. It's phenomenal. It's really,
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. Obviously, we've got all of them doing it at the end of the June with a superhero win anyway, so you'll
Yeah, I
really need to
can't
add,
wait for that.
yeah, all those 45 other runners to the list as well, which would be amazing. But this one's an interesting question because I feel like a lot of runners don't have this, but do you have like any superstitions or like any lucky gear or any like pre-race rituals, anything like that?
No, I
No,
don't. I
no,
thought about that, but no, there's nothing that I
no.
kind of take or do that gives me that
Yeah,
kind of good luck. No, there isn't.
yeah. I don't know how people sort of come up with it. Is it just something that, like they do one day by accident, never a good race? I'm not
And
sure.
then kind of keep it going. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
No, yeah, yeah. Right, this is the question I'm looking forward to. What's your running guilty pleasure? So in terms of like maybe buying too much equipment or anything like that, what's something that you do that you shouldn't really be doing or you do too much of?
Oh, that's so hard.
That's a
Um,
difficult question, isn't it?
Something that I
Obviously,
don't do that I should do. Mm, Miss a cool down.
oh, Danielle, that you are talking to the coach here. That's disgraceful.
I know, but I've got to be honest, haven't I? I've got to be
Yeah, at
honest.
least no, at least is it just because you're absolutely knackered or you need to get back
Yeah,
or
probably. And I think
yeah,
a cool down does really help. A warm up helps, but sometimes I just get to the end of that session and it's like and relax and breathe. And then it's
yeah.
like, right, go and do a cool down. And I'm like, oh, but really? But yeah, I have to be honest there.
Well, that on the training plan, Warner. It's It's ridiculous. I'm joking. I do know what you mean though, especially when you've had like a really hard session and the last
Yeah,
thing you want to do when you've stopped and you're absolutely knackered is think or for an easy jog. You just do get
yeah,
some of those days. I understand that, yeah.
yeah. And
There's not
obviously, I
many.
know it helps. It helps to stretch your muscles and all of that. But sometimes it's just in my head thinking that's just more running when I'm absolutely shattered.
Are you gonna dig anyone out here? Is there anyone who's sort of just like, oh well, let's miss the call down? Is there anyone who's sort of like
Oh,
you
I can't be giving names away there.
gonna...
No, I've got to keep that. I've got to keep that here. No.
Can you give me a number of people rather than names? Just my own personal diary.
Think four, five.
Four or five, right?
That's not
Right.
bad though, out of a full session.
Yeah, like 16, four, yeah.
I know that's not the right thing to tell you and right thing to say, but you know.
You're gonna get a lot of WhatsApp messages when this video goes out.
Whoopsie.
I can already guess one or two, so we'll see who those are. But very interesting.
I'll let you know who the messages come from.
Not going to name any names, but yeah, I'll take some guesses. Just a few more questions, Danielle. In terms of a post run, if you, for example, get a PB, how would you best celebrate? Would you just go straight to bed and have a chill out? Would you take a takeaway? Would you have a cold beer? What would you do?
I'd probably go for a drink.
Yeah.
That is a go-to. Kind of go to the pub on the way back.
Nice,
or kind
brilliant.
of go. Yeah, we've got a pub just up the road from us, so we might come back and then go up there, have a drink, and stretch those legs while walking there. So.
Nice. Oh, so the cool down to the pub, warm down.
Yeah, see you walk down, cool down.
See, there we go. Maybe we need to bring
yeah.
more alcohol to sessions.
Maybe.
I say more, we haven't been finding our athletes with alcohol. There's your beer, and there's your coolers, and there's your...
Oh, that would be lovely. Nice cold one.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we do get lollipops. We do get ice lollies.
Oh yeah, true,
So
true.
That is a win-win. That is a bonus.
So would you go for a cool down if I gave you a ice pop lolly?
I mean, if there's an ice lolly on offer, maybe.
That's all I need to do, don't I? Just give ice lollies to you all the time.
Yeah.
And the 4 people you dug out as well. With any names?
Not naming names.
Not naming any names. Fair enough, release riders. Right, Danielle, that's all the questions that I've got for you. Just one more before you leave. What would you say to somebody who's potentially getting into running? I'm not necessarily talking about Boro Runners, but you could link it into that. What would you say to someone as a new runner? Because obviously you've been with the club for the past year now. What would you say to them, and any advice or any particular superstitions?
Just kind of go with it. You know, that first run that you are going to go out and do, it's probably not going to be as easy as you kind of think. You might have to do that kind of walk, run. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to kind of build from somewhere. I think, and obviously if you were going to then join a running club, like I say, that support from everybody within our club is just really supportive. But even if you don't want to be part of a running club and you want to go and do those solo sessions, it's tough, but those results will come. And obviously just don't kind of put that pressure on yourself. I mean, sometimes I can go out and do an easy run and it feels easy, and then sometimes you go out and it just feels like I haven't run in weeks. And I think kind of don't let that get to you. You kind of need to put that behind you, and you know, just keep going and just keep pushing. And obviously it will come and it will get easier.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time, Danielle. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I've loved it. Thank you.
So you get
I was really nervous at first, but I'm all right now.
Also, we haven't had any dog barking in the background.
We haven't, no. I mean, I have been sat here stroking him because he's like nudging me, and I'm thinking, just don't bark. You can nudge me, but that's
he just wants to be in the podcast, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
He just loves the attention, and that's probably the perfect time as well for you to get off for your run with Katie and Lindsay as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think 6:30, so we're half an hour away.